Well, as a family, welcome back to Patterson Hill Properties. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional day. All right, if you don't know Patterson Hill Properties, we wholesale real estate throughout the DMV area, and we usually do it via tax liens because those are people that the properties have been taken away from the local city or county government due to failure of tax payments of the properties. And we do the whole marketing on the side, and just like any other wholesaler out there. So give us a contact if you're a wholesaler, you're a real estate agent, if you're an investor, if you're a person in a distressed home property situation, contact us and we'll be able to go from there, right? Okay. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. You got to switch it up because if you're not growing, if you're not doing things differently, you're not growing in this life. I found this article today talking about the top listings of Black-owned bed and breakfasts in the South, or southern part of the United States, where you can get great Southern hospitality. Bed and breakfasts all over the United States of America are a very natural thing. And matter of fact, they were the first hotels. When you think about it from a real estate perspective and a business perspective, they were the first hotels before there was actually a hotel. A lot of times you'd have the saloon, the old bar, and then you'd have places where people would rent out a room. It was very common if somebody had they'd have a bed and breakfast if they had more room in their home during the 1800s, early 1900s and whatnot, before hotels were officially a thing. Before you started having franchises of hotels and things of that nature, bed and breakfasts, you had more bed and breakfasts than anything else. If you remember the movie Forrest Gump, Forrest Gump lived in a house where it was considered a quote unquote bed and breakfast. That's how his mom made a living or whatnot after his dad passed away or left or whatever have you. She had a bed and breakfast in that town in Alabama, where the movie was based in. It was very interesting. That was the first time as a kid I saw what a bed and breakfast was, and actually having family from North Carolina, I actually had to see actual bed and breakfasts. I actually stayed in one. Me and my mother and brother, we stayed in one, and I'm glad to see that they're still in business to this day, because you can't put a price tag on a bed and breakfast. I think bed and breakfasts and Airbnbs are very beautiful things because, but like I said, for me, when I visit a place, I want to be in the community. I don't just want to be like, I don't have anything against hotels. Only time I really stay in a hotel is if I'm in a place that I've been to 1,000 times. Like I go to Houston a couple of times throughout the year. So I'd rather stay in the airport. I'd rather stay in the area where the airport's at, minutes away from the airport, so I don't have to worry about my flight. When I leave the airport, get to my hotel, I know the area. I know where the grocery stores are around that specific area. I don't want to have to worry about, the last time I had an Airbnb, usually the most decent, affordable Airbnbs are usually 30 to 40 minutes away from the airport. I like to be closer to the airport because you just never know, with traffic and things of that nature. But when I go to other places that I don't get to go to that often, I'd rather stay in Airbnb because I'd like to see what it's like being in the community. When I go to a place for the first time, when I first went to Seattle, I got to, I was in Airbnb and I got to see what the community was like being there. I was 20 minutes away from downtown Seattle, and it was a beautiful experience. The same thing when what was it? When I went to Riverside, California. First time I stayed in Airbnb was in Riverside, California. It was a nice area, so Airbnb is a great thing. Bed and breakfasts are a great thing. And you get to, especially, I always say, especially when you're thinking about moving to an area, highly recommend staying at an Airbnb and staying in especially even a long-term Airbnb. That gives you a better option to really get the gist of an area. Because a long-term Airbnbs, you can stay up for a month or a couple of months or whatnot. So you get a chance to really figure an area out, because you never know a place until you live there. That's just what it is. But anyways, so let's go down the list. You have 6 of them. And the first one is actually based out of Durham, North Carolina. All right. Originally built for a CEO of Leggett and Myers, this splendid redecorated 8,000 square foot colonial Reveal style home is located within walking distance to the downtown Durham area, where the Durham Bulls, Atlantic Park, Durham Performing Arts Center, in historic Bright Life Square. Moorhead Manor is just moments away from Duke University, North Carolina Central University, Research Triangle Park, Raleigh, North Carolina, RDU International Airport, and is easily accessible to both interstates 85 and 40. And that's the thing. It's like when you have a business establishment like that, you want it to be accessible to a highway and definitely accessible to the airport, the international airport and whatnot, where a lot of flights. So, because like if you have a bed and breakfast on Airbnb next to LAX or Dallas Fort Worth, Dallas Love Field, Bush Continental Airport, um, you know, eh, Reagan National, Baltimore Airport, then you're sitting on a gold mine. So definitely check that one out. I find that to be interesting. Number two is Clevedale Historic Inn, which is actually located in another beautiful part of the South. It's actually, let's see what the specific area is, because I'm just, like I said, I'm doing something different, reading it verbatim. This area is actually located in, it's a nice colonial home, stately columns, spacious porches, and opulent fireplace offers an atmosphere of casual elegance to the common gathering areas, well as a guest room. The sun-kissed porches invites guests unwind with a good book and a pot of tea and refreshing pitcher of lemonade with its crackling fire, and foyer and parlor are ideal places to chat with friends over a vintage port. And this area in particular is actually located in another part of Durham, North Carolina. So, you got so many great different places and whatnot. Number three, you have, which is actually located in Augusta, Georgia, which I heard is a very nice town. More of a small town. It's not that far from Atlanta, Georgia, but it's got like more of a small town, small city country feel to it, compared to, Atlanta's the capital of Georgia and Atlanta's a major city. But it's called The Painted Lady. Looking to explore Augusta, Georgia, be sure to check out this beautiful inn right in the heart of the historic district. Enjoy Southern hospitality and a charming home-like atmosphere. And that's another thing. It's, a lot of people, when you're in a hotel, usually, I'm not going to say anything bad about the staff, but, people who are working there, it's not really, even though 9 times out of 10, it is a family franchise and whatnot, but still you don't feel that family energy and whatnot. A lot of times hotels, you got the most rudest people that, in my experience, some of the most rudest people that work there on the freaking planet sometimes. So I can definitely understand that, But anyways, the Hubbard Mansion. Here's this is number this is number 3, I believe, and this is actually, well, no, this is number 5. Hubbard Mansion, and it's actually located in Nashek, Mississippi Mansion. All right. And it's an elegant Greek revival home, features 5 guest rooms with a suite combination, providing modern luxuries in the spirit of historic style and elegance. All rooms are furnished with period antiques and precious heirlooms, and adorn. The late Rose Hubbard built a mansion over 15 years ago and modeled the facade after a Nashek, Mississippi mansion located in Natchez Bluff at the southern end of the old Spanish promenade grounds overlooking the Mississippi River. So, hey, if you're in the Mississippi area, you might want to check them out. It is called the Hubbard Mansion. And, like I said, you look these up, these are very beautiful places. And number 6, you have the Matriarch Bed and Breakfast. All right. And this is actually located down in good old Orangeburg, South Carolina. All right. And in the historic downtown Orangeburg, South Carolina area. All right. And it's a charming boutique inn nestled in the heart of that specific area in the National Heritage Corridor Trail. And the matriarchy satisfies the need for a full service and all due to medium-sized venue featuring elegant themed guest quarters and meeting rooms and whatnot. So if you want to get that beautiful Southern hospitality, you might want to check them out. You know what I mean? Definitely want to check them out. Okay, this is too much. That's how I look at that. Well, no, there's actually more. So another one that's actually located in my home state of Virginia, in Lynchburg, Virginia. It's called the House of Lydia Bed and Breakfast. It's a calm oasis in the historic Garland Hill district of Lynchburg, Virginia. This faith-based bed and breakfast offers unparalleled elegance and charm. The House of Lydia welcomes overnight business guests as well as those seeking renewal and sanctuary visiting ministries, seminar professors, missionaries serving around the world, business travelers, and other guests will experience a genuine hospitality in the atmosphere of peace and quiet. So I think that's pretty cool. Next one, you have the Almanat Hotel and Bistro, which is actually located in another beautiful area that's actually in Gulfport, Mississippi. I actually heard Gulfport, Mississippi is a beautiful town. I actually want to check that out. I said the beaches in Mississippi actually are pretty beautiful as well. So maybe one day. But it's an actual the Almanat Hotel and Bistro is a premier destination for social events, business meetings, and special getaways. So if you're in Gulfport, Mississippi, you might want to check them out. You know, get that good old Southern hospitality. Next is Concord Quarters, it's actually located in. Let's see where they're located at. That's just in Manchester, and they are actually located in Gulfport, Mississippi at the same time. Licensed and inspected bed and breakfast is what remains of a beautiful Concord first mansion built in, I'm sorry, this is actually in Natchez, South Carolina. This place dates back to 1789. Interesting. Concord was a grand antebellum mansion, one of the many that have made this section famous. The entertainments at Concord were the most famous and lavish ever given in the section. Concord burned in 1901, and it was the scene of a magnificent part of the country given by the Duke and Duchess of Manchester. This ball was given just prior to the fire. This suggests the effectiveness of the drug. It was a remainder of the old-time social festivals at Concordia and was largely attended. It was a brilliant affair and made suitable fuels to the social chapter in the history of Concordia. So interesting stuff, all right? Interesting stuff. And next, what do we have? All right, you have the Langtree Retreat and Echo Center, which is the mission is to provide the state-of-art science-based ecological training laboratory designed to develop leadership competencies and environmental sustainability skills in youth and young adults. It's in Houston, Texas area. Base venues also includes a bed and breakfast with large suites available with upstairs beautiful view of a nature and lounge area with beautiful wood burning brick fireplace. So in the Houston, Texas area, you might want to give them check them out. Langtree Retreat and Echo Center. All right, check them out. All right, and I believe that is, oh no, the last but not least, Harvest Time Guest House. All right, Harvest Time Guest House, which is in Tylertown, Mississippi. The mansion of Harvest Time is to become the best choice in Tylertown, Mississippi for retreats, reunions, weddings, meetings, or just getaways. They want to create an appealing climate for families and businesses. Count on their genuine Southern hospitality and friendly atmosphere to bring you back. So definitely check these places out. And before I sign off tonight, I just wanted to go over, because a lot of times you don't even know because there's not as many bed and breakfasts as there are hotels, as there are Airbnbs. So, you know, when it boils down to the numbers and things of that nature, you know, because I'm a numbers guy, what do bed and breakfasts usually make? And this little paragraph states, and I quote, large, well-established bed and breakfasts can bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. But most owners of average size inns earn much lower revenue. SimplyHire.com reported that in September 2019 that the average salary for hotel owners was $49,000 and innkeepers average about $64,000 per year. United States Department of Labor reported in May 2018 that 10% all lodging managers, including bed and breakfast and keepers, earned $30,000 or less per year. The median annual earnings for lodging managers was reported as $53,000, and 10% of lodging managers earned about $100,000 or more per year. And those salaries in the South isn't that bad. Bed and breakfast owners must provide their own benefits, such as health and life insurance and savings and pension programs. I mean, that makes sense because you're self-employed. But, you know, a lot of times people are not just doing this for the money, they're doing this because they actually really enjoy owning these kind of spots and keeping the history of these specific areas alive. So I just wanted to make something different, make a video different today in regards to other aspects of real estate. I've talked about the hotel industry. Last week I talked about Airbnb. This week I wanted to talk about bed and breakfasts. And I'm glad that people are still keeping them alive to this day in 2022. All right. Still a great day, free things. Like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully you have a great day. As I always say, don't forget to check out, if you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, check out WEBULL, Stash, Acorns, Crypto.com, Coinbase. With all those platforms, you'll be able to make some money. Check it all out. All these links will be in the description. If you want to contact us, our website's in the description as well, Patterson No Property. So as I always say, do a great thing for your things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great evening. Make money moves, or you're going to live broad like a fool. Take care, family.